Okay, boys and girls, I'm continuing on with Junkman's frequently asked questions, or Junkman's facts, as they like to call them. What we're going to talk about next is the speed of movement that you should be using with your polisher. Now, I get a lot of questions where people say, well, I did it just like you do in your videos and I'm not getting the same results. And then I have that person send me a video of them actually working on their car and they're moving the polisher so fast. You know, I tell them, you could get a better shine off your paint buffing the car with a Hershey bar than you can with that Porter cable because you're moving way too fast. So what I want to do in this video is concentrate on dictating the speed that I work at when I'm working the polisher. Now here's the thing, when you try to convey speed to someone via video, what they see in their mind and what is actually happening can be two totally different things. So I have come up with the universal language to man, something that everyone can relate to and that everyone can follow. And that is the language of music. What I'm going to do is use music to dictate the speed at which you can move, at which you should move your polisher at. Now, a couple of things I need to make perfectly clear. This is my technique. This is the way I do it. Again, you've seen my paint, you've seen what it looks like, you've seen my results. This is how I get those results. My technique consists of the speed that I move the polisher, the amount of polish that I use, and the amount of pressure that I use. Now, to answer all three of those, I'm going to answer the speed with an actual video. You're going to see that. The amount of pressure that I use is 9 to 14 pounds of pressure, including the weight of the polisher. And the amount of polish that I use. When I break out a brand new pad, I prime that pad by using 4 pea-sized drops of polish and a squirt of detail spray. The detail spray helps spread that polish around. It helps wet the polish some, and it allows me to quickly cover my 2 by 2 foot area or 1.5 by 1.5 foot area that I'm working with that polish. By covering that area quickly, I spread that polish all around the pad. That is my way of priming the pad. I'm setting the pad up, getting it ready to work. So I'll work it at my regular speed, using my regular pressure for that first pass, just to prime the pad. And then I will resort to using 3 pea-sized drops, 9 to 14 pounds of pressure. I almost forgot to say on a speed setting of 5. This is my technique. You cannot take my technique and mix it with someone else's technique and get the kind of results that I'm having. My technique is unique to itself. I didn't invent it. It's the way I learned, and it works. It works for me. Now, my technique is a lot slower than other folks' technique, but I don't detail cars for a living, so I'm not worried about how fast I go. As a matter of fact, I like going slow. I like spending time with my car. Now, for somebody who's in the business, who's actually going to be doing paint correction, this technique would take them all day. But like I said, I'm not in the business of fixing cars. I do this for therapy. This is very therapeutic to me. I enjoy the time I spend down in my garage rubbing on my car. So, my technique again, just to recap, 9 to 14 pounds of pressure. Once I have finished priming the pad with 4 pea-sized drops, I then, from that point forward, use 3 pea-sized drops on a setting of 5, 9 to 14 pounds of pressure, I said that, and the speed at which I move at is what we're going to concentrate on today. Everything else we can get right. You can do 3 pea-sized drops, okay? Everybody can figure out what a pea-sized drop is. Everybody can figure out what a setting of 5 is. The thing has a dial on it, okay? You just turn it to 5. So those are 2 things that we can get right. Now, the 9 to 14 pounds of pressure, how do I determine what that is? What I do is, when I was learning, I I had a bathroom scale. I set it on the table beside the car. I set the polisher on top of it. And then I seen how much it weighed. And then I pressed down till I saw 9 to 14 pounds of pressure. I cut the polisher on while it was down there and see if I could hold that 9 to 14 pounds of pressure just by looking at the scale. And then I whipped around to the car and did the same thing. That's how I learned what 9 to 14 pounds of pressure is. So now you've got a specific way to figure out what 9 to 14 pounds of pressure is. One more time, I can't say this enough. Do not mix any part of my technique with someone else's technique, because they don't mix together. My technique is unique of its own, and all the parts of it have to be done. You can't take pieces from somebody else and pieces from what this guy's doing and what this guy does and then mix it into mine. You can't do that. You will be a failure at this. Okay? So when you do my technique, do it exactly as I do it. Now let's talk about movement. Now, at first I was going to cut the polisher on, let you see me doing this stuff. But the polisher would drown out the music. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the polisher, but I'm not going to turn it on. There's no need for me. You're going to see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the tripod up a little differently so that you can hear the music and see the movement that I do and how I use the music to dictate the speed at which I go at. Just to break it down and kind of give you a recap on it, or like a word version of it, I'm going to be using first the PC 7424 XP. I'm going to start with this. I'm going to show you the speed at which I work this thing at. Okay? Then, for those of you who are a little more advanced, I am going to break out the flex. And then I'm going to show you how fast I move the flex. And then, last but not least, something I'm not going to get into a whole lot of detail in, because I don't want people be messing up. I'm going to break out my Makita, and I'm going to show you how fast I work the Makita. Now I can tell you this in words, if I was explaining this in words. The PC, I'm going to move at half the time I'm going to move the flex. Let me start at the other end. Let me start with the Makita. I'm going to move the Makita one time, and the flex is going to be double the time that the Makita is. The PC is going to be four times slower than I move the Makita. You know, y'all probably confused, so let me just show it to you, because I kind of confused myself there. So let me reposition the tripod and the camera and get you on the hood, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do this. So here we go. Okay, boys and girls, here we go. Basically what I'm going to do is the blue lines depict the area that I'm going to work. This is my 1.5 by 1.5 square foot area that I'm going to work at. Again, I'm going to use 3 pea-sized drops of polish on the pad. And when I put my drops on the pad, I don't put them on the very outside edge because of the way the back plate's made. I kind of work them in a little bit. I want to make sure that I stay within the edge of the back plate. So I don't want to go no further out than this edge. So I want to make sure I stay inside there. So I put my 3 pea-sized drops there. I set my polisher on a speed setting of 5. I'm going to use 9 to 14 pounds of pressure. For those of you who have the PC74 24 XP, this part pops off. So you want to put some bolts in there to hold that in place, because I don't use the handle. I've been doing it so long, I don't even have to use the bolts. I know how to hold on to it, okay? But this is the area I'm going to start. I'm going to start from here and go to this blue tape here. I'm going to work my way up, and then I'm going to do a crosshatch pattern. I'm going to come down, then I'm going to go back across, come down, back across. Now, this is my old daily driver, my beater. I could care less. This thing's got more rust in it than a Titanic. The only thing separating my feet from the street is the soles of my shoes and some carpet. So I could care less about this car, but it runs like a beast. If you've seen my videos of it, you know it runs like a beast. So that's the only thing I wanted to do, is run like a beast. I could care less what it looks like, so I'm not really worried about doing any damage to it or cord banging up against the car or anything like that. So I guess I'm gonna start the music. I'm gonna count you off, and I want you to watch how slow I actually work this polisher. When I get here, this is my halfway point. It's halfway between this blue stripe and this blue stripe. That's my halfway point, okay? So I want you to listen to the music, listen to me count, and watch how fast I move this polisher. Let me start the music here. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna count us off. 1, 2. And let me wait till it gets to the right spot to count us off. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3. Next line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3. Then 4. Next line. Here we go. 1. 2. 3. Then 4. Next line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now I'm gonna start coming down. Here I go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then the next line. And 1 and 2. And I'm overlapping this as I do it. 3. Then here goes 4. Next line. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Here I go. Turn. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Next line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Here I go to crosshatch. 1. Now I'm going back the same way I started. 2 and 3 and 4. Next line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Next line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Next line. 1. There you go. And 2 and 3 and 4. And start my crosshatch again. So I'm coming down. And 2 and 3 and 4. Turn the corner. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Turn the corner. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Turn the corner. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then you're going to repeat that process over and over. You do it until you wear your polish down. They call it until your polish flashes. Basically what it's going to look like is a very clear Vaseline kind of look to it, and you'll start to see some shine begin to show up. When you see that, you've worked that polish long enough. It's better to work the polish not enough than it is to overwork the polish. So if you underwork the polish, you just waste polish. But if you overwork the polish, you damage the paint. So it's better to underwork than overwork. So if you're unsure, underwork before you overwork. Now, you saw how I broke that bead up into, it was basically 16 counts. You aerobics people would understand this very well. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 8, and I was halfway at 8. And then I went 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 again. At 16, I was all the way across. At that point, I was ready to come up to my next line. When I overlap, I like to overlap at least this much of the polisher. So this much of the pad, I should say. This much of the pad is going to overlap the area that I already done. And then I bust up to the next line. You know, I did my 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I was halfway at 8. Then I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I was all the way at 16. Okay. Once I did my horizontal passes, I did my vertical passes, and I kept repeating that process. Now, get down here where I can see you. There you are. Here's the thing with that cross hitch style of polishing. The reason you do that on flat surfaces, it's not as important as it is on the side of the car. On the side of the car, where you got curves and stuff, the entire face of the polisher does not come in contact at all times with the side of the car if you have a lot of curves. So the crosshatch, what it does is, when you're coming one way, only, let's say, maybe this much of the pad is touching the car. So you got all this on the outside that's not. So by doing the crosshatch, what happens is you cover areas that you miss going one way. So when you're going horizontally and you don't hit every area, but when you go vertically, you catch the areas that you're missing with the horizontal, okay? So that's why it's very important on the sides to use that style. On a big old flat surface like the hood, it's not as important, but it's still a good practice. You don't want to, you just want to practice and learn to do it that way, because then you will unconsciously do it everywhere on the car. You won't be forgetting to do it somewhere. So that's why you do it. It's not as important on super flat surfaces as it is on curved surfaces. This car happens to have a curved surface. So now you saw the speed at which I moved the PC at. It was it was 16 counts, or 16, it was 16 counts all the way across and 16 counts all the way down. You saw that. I explained that to you. Now I'm going to show you the way I move the flex. It is basically half the time of the PC. Half the time. So where I went 16 here, I'm going to go 8 here. Okay? Let me show it to you, because seeing is believing, and it's a whole lot easier to understand. So let me start my music, and you'll get to see it firsthand. Here we go. Music, please. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bam! That's the way I do it. Cut the music. That is how I work those two polishers. As you saw, the PC was double the time of the flex. The flex, I did it in half the time. It's a more powerful polisher. I can move it faster and still get the same work done. Okay, so that is the way that I use those two different machines. Again, the PC got 16 counts across. The flex got 8 counts across, because like I said, forced rotation with the flex. Now with the rotary, it gets 4 counts across. Much faster. Much faster. Now when you saw me moving from line to line, I exaggerated that to say, you know, you're going to the next line, but in fact you want to be fluid with it. It needs to be a fluid. You ain't gonna be jerking up to the next and jerking to you ain't gonna be doing that. It's gonna be a fluid movement. As the more you practice this, the better you'll get at that fluid movement, okay? Because you don't want to be jerking it around, all right? Now, with the rotary, and I'm gonna just show this just for a whole lot of people have asked, and I ain't gonna get into no teaching you how to use this because it's too dangerous of a tool to be trying to learn on YouTube. This is something you need to be taught how to do, and you definitely don't want to be doing it on a car you like. All right, so let me start the music, and again, you'll see how fast I move it. Here we go. I always have to find the count first. There it is. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, and 4. Now here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, and so on, so on, so on, so on. Bam! That's the way I work the rotary. Now, you just had a chance to see how fast I work all three machines. The rotary, 4 counts across, 4 counts down, both ways, both directions. The flex, 8 counts, both directions. The PC, 16 counts, both directions. On all the machines, I'm using the same amount of pressure, 9 to 14 pounds. Sometimes I'll add a little pressure to the flex, depends on the surface I'm working on, but I never add any more pressure to the rotary. I work that rotary on anywhere from 1500 to 3000 RPM, or OPMs, correction there. It depends on the polish I'm using. It depends on a whole lot of things. That's why I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail with the rotary. I just wanted to give you an idea of the power of these machines. But again, the PC, 16 counts across, up and down, and the flex, 8 counts across, up and down. Now the song that I'm using, perfect tempo, is Barry Manilow's Copacabana. And what I did was I always liked that song as a kid, because when they break it down, when the drum section get going, they be getting funky. So I like that song. But what I did was I took the breakdown and then I looped it, and then I looped it for like 16 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload that as an MP3 file for those of you who want to download it and use it as a gauge so that you can get your speed on and make it right if you're using my technique. And I'm going to post that in the thread where this video is located. Now, for those of you who just watch my videos at YouTube and don't go to the thread where you should be watching them from, you're not going to have access to that. So where is that download going to be? It's going to be on Adams Forms with an S.com, and it's going to be in an area called the Junkman's Corner. That's my little section where all my videos and all my write-ups and everything is. So that's where I'm going to put it, and you can download the MP3. Like I said, it's about 16 minutes long. So it's put it on a CD and stick it in your car and count away. And if you're out there dancing and your wife come out there and start laughing at you, hey, that's on you. Because I think it's funky, so I'd be out there dancing myself. But that's what I'm going to do. And that should help those of you who are trying to figure out speed, exactly how it's done and exactly how fast to move. All right? Music, it's the universal language. Everybody understands it. There's some music that I like listening to, like reggae. I don't understand a word they saying, but they be jamming. You know, I'd be like, yeah, but I don't know what they be saying, but they be jamming though. So I like that. But that's why music is the best way to convey movement across to everyone, so that everyone is on the same page. All right. So that pretty much covers it. Go back and watch the video again so that you can get that count down. I can just see some of you wives now. It's going to be funny. It's going to be hilarious. But y'all going to be out there in the garage jamming. But get your aerobics on out there and get your speed together. Speed is very important when it comes to fixing this stuff. So you got to get your speed. If you go too fast, you ain't going to do anything. Go too slow, it just takes you longer. But if you go too fast, you ain't doing nothing but exercising, and it's lousy exercise, okay? So that's pretty much it for this part of the Junkman's frequently asked questions. I will come back with some more, mainly on buffing on the side of the car. A lot of people want to see, how do you buff on the side of the car? It's the same way you buff on the top of the car. I don't know why there's so much confusion with that, but hey, I'll put together a video of that so that y'all can see it. So until then, this is the Junkman signing out.